Alright everybody, take your seat.
Welcome to the aRenG tutoring segment, where we cover all the answers to the Duelist challenges. If you already know the answers and are caught up, great. Sit in the back and don't annoy me. Today you will address me as Professor aRenG, since I'm working on my PhD in dueling. You don't have to be good to get a PhD, kinda like Crowler. Just don't tell him I said that though. I try to avoid him as much as possible. I'll be assisted by my teacher's aide, Floodgate-chan. If you have any questions or concerns, direct them at her. Because I have better things to do, like think about Monster Hunter World and what's for dinner. Asking me questions gets you a trip directly to the hall, so don't do that. And try not to lewd the lolly. That can get you sent to the principal's office. So bust out your notebooks, calculators, and get ready to take notes. Let's get started. Lesson 1. Beaver Warrior is always relevant. If you use quick math, even Beaver Warrior can be used, according to Konami. Alright, so we have to win this turn. Not a bad or difficult thing to really do. It is the first challenge, so let's go ahead and get things started. Obviously, you're supposed to use the effect of Minoan Centaur, so let's go ahead and start off with that. The only challenge in this challenge is to actually pick the right materials. At first, when I tried it out, I would pick these two and get it completely wrong, so don't do that. What you gotta do is you gotta use the power of the Beaver Warrior. So let's go ahead and summon both of these. So get that Battle Ox out here, and the Beaver Warrior. Alright, so now that they're out, we're going to use Unity, because Konami needs people to see that this card will work in a very, very rare situation. So, let's go ahead and use Unity right now. And now we need to make Battle Ox a little bit stronger by giving them the 1500 defense and I guess 1000 attack of Battle Ox, and add it to his defense. So it becomes the addition of both, so he becomes 2500 defense. Normally, Unity alone would be a garbage card, but fair enough. If used with kind of bad cards, you can eventually do something and possibly win. So we're going to be using Wild Nature's Release, and this one lets you target one Beast Warrior type monster, and it gains attack equal to its current defense until the end phase, and then it dies. So let's go ahead and use that on the Battle Ox. Alright, so Battle Ox is going to go ahead and get that boost. It gets that 2500 additional in addition to its 1700 attack. So now it's a little bit stronger. So in the end, Beaver Warrior kind of just sat here and gave us that 1500 defense. So now we're going to go ahead and attack. Beaver Warrior is going to attack to destroy their monster, and Battle Ox is going to claim victory. Oh, you in the back. Put your phone away. If I'm not allowed to use it, neither are you. You know what? Stand in the hall. Alright, Lesson 2. This is a lesson that will teach us to exploit degenerate loops. Hey man, this is coming directly from Konami. They like these loops because it gives them something to hit on the ban list, and it makes it seem like they're helping. Basically, why are we advertising degenerate loops? Let's go ahead and get things started. Alright. So we have to win this turn. Not a hard thing to do if you have the mentality of a person who can exploit loops. So the first thing we have to do is obviously activate Morale Boost. This one, you don't really need to know what it does. All you need to know is that if you activate it, you pretty much win. So now we're going to go ahead and tribute. Summon this Archfiend of Guilford, which nobody uses. And we're going to use this guy. Since Woodland Sprite was banned by Konami, or was hit because of the bamboos, this is kind of like a metaphor to get rid of Woodland Sprite off the field because it's a bad card. So now we got rid of Woodland Sprite, we have this Archfiend of Guilford, and now we're going to attack it head first into their koala. So let's go ahead and get things started. Alright, so it may appear that we're in a bad situation because we took 2000 damage, but Guilford does activate in the grave. So now we can go ahead and start exploiting that degenerate loop to get our cheeky win, which it doesn't matter how many life points they have. If you use this loop, you will pretty much win no matter what. So now we get to equip Guilford to someone else, and we're obviously going to equip it to Gearfried, the Iron Knight. If you equip it to Gearfried, his effect activates. So Gearfried has the ability to destroy things. Morale Boost is going to give us 1000 life points each time an equip is played, and Fire Princess does burn them for 500. Now, Guilford was sent to the grave again because you can't equip anything to Gearfried because it destroys everything you equip it. He does not like holding swords. So, we're going to activate his effect again, and we're going to repeat the process. So now we're just going to do this like 4 times, and repeat that Degenerate Loop, because that is what Konami taught us. And it doesn't matter that you take 1000 damage, because Morale Boost is going to heal you every time, so you're always breaking even. But what you are doing is whittling down your opponent's life points, and you just gotta keep saying yes. What do you want? Put your hands down. This is not the time for questions. You know what? Stand in the hall. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish off our opponent. And this should be game. Very simple, very easy. If you have the heart of a degenerate, this should be pretty simple for you. Let's go ahead and just jump right into the next lesson. Alright, lesson 3. Bullying the weak. This is a duel school. Pick on the weak and take their cards. This is how the world works. So we're going to be using harpies to wipe out the Ojamas on our opponent's side of the field. This shouldn't be that difficult. Let's go ahead and get things started. Alright, so once again we are going up against Tour Guide from the Underworld, who is acting as our sparring partner for this challenge. So, let's go ahead and get things started. So, as you can see, our opponent's got a full field except for that third back row, and we have 2 cards set on the board. We have a Powerful Rebirth and a Wild Tornado. 4 cards in hand, which mean Swift Birdman Joe, Parallel Twister, Harpy's Hunting Ground, Tribute to the Doomed. And they have all 3 Ojamas. They don't have an extra deck because they're not good. Like I said, guys, you've got to bully the weak. And they have a Divine Wrath, so you have to be careful with that. And they also have a Wall of Disruption, which is going to be irrelevant because we're not going to be worrying about that card. The first thing you're going to be doing for this one is obviously not surrendering, but we're going to activate Harpy's Hunting Ground. So now that Harpy's Hunting Ground is active, we do get to special summon the Harpy from the grave to get rid of the annoying back row that our opponent might have. Now a lot of you people might be thinking, well, you want to get rid of the Wall of D, but no. In this situation, you're going to want to destroy the Divine Wrath, because you want to use your Harpy's ability to bounce back and summon herself onto the board again. So, let's go ahead and activate her ability. And she is a Harpy Lady right now, so that's why we can use her effect. And it will destroy things. So, now you can go ahead and bounce her back to the hand. And don't worry about chaining that Wild Tornado, but we do have to activate her effect right now. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon. And now we get another destruction. So this time, instead of hitting their Wall of D, like a not very smart duelist, we're going to be hitting our own card. We're going to be hitting Wild Tornado because we're going for the OTK. So, let's go ahead and destroy that card, and now it can activate, and we can destroy one of the Ojamas. And obviously, you know you want to hit yellow, because it's the most annoying looking. Alright, so now that we did that, you might look at the hand and think, oh, I can Parallel Twister and use this card and destroy another Ojama. But no, the first thing you want to do is summon Birdman Joe, because he has a very cool American name, and you can summon him to use his effect. Now, Birdman Joe does bounce everything back, so now we don't have to worry about the Wall of D since it did get bounced back. So now we have enough cards in hand to do quite a bit of shenanigans. They have 2 monsters and we have 4 cards in hand, so we can go ahead and set Powerful Rebirth. Now the thing is, we can't activate Powerful Rebirth this turn, so what we're going to go ahead and use is Parallel Twister. Parallel Twister lets us destroy this card since it's irrelevant, or get rid of it, and then we get to destroy one of their Ojamas. Next up, we gotta get rid of Ojama Green because it looked at me weird. Alright, now we can go ahead and use Tribute to the Doomed. Discard that Harpy's Hunting Ground because they have a perfect amount of life points for Birdman Joe to swing at them directly. So let's go ahead and get rid of the Ojama Black because he is putting on a bit of weight. So let's go ahead and attack directly. No, you can't use the restroom. There's a trash can right there. If you don't want to use that, go stand in the hall. Lesson 4. The main character always wins. This is coming from the anime rulebook section, where if your hair is cooler and you have more lines in the show, you truly never lose. So, let's go ahead and get things started. So now, Tour Guide is back for another beating, and we will show off the true power of Dark Magician in this match. Our opponent does appear to have a pretty substantial back row. 3 copies of One-Shot Wand equipped onto that Dark Magician. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is the first play, which is pretty much summon Magician's Rod. Now Magician's Rod gets us a search. So we're going to go ahead and do the only real challenge for this challenge, which is to pick one of these 3 cards. Now, you may be looking at their back row and thinking, well, Dark Magic attack might be useful, because if we use this, we can blow up their stuff and Clash a Dark Magician or something. Or Sage of Stone, because it summons a Dark Magician directly from the deck. But no, you would be wrong. You actually need to pick Thousand Knives. Thousand Knives, you get it to hand because you know you're going to be getting a Dark Magician sooner or later. Now we have a fan service character here. We're going to go ahead and summon her. So we're going to be tributing the Legion the Fiend Jester. Legion the Fiend Jester has an ability. When it's sent to the grave, we do get to add a Dark Magician to hand. So let's go ahead and use that. Alright, come here, Papa Magician. So now, we have that Ancient Rules, which we will be using. So, let's go ahead and summon that Dark Magician. And I'm sorry if you hear noise in the background, that is construction. We're making a gymnasium so you guys can chase each other. So, Dark Magician is coming out. Now we can go ahead and abuse Thousand Knives. Thousand Knives let us destroy their obviously superior Dark Magician because we are the main character in this situation. So let's go ahead and destroy that. And now that that Dark Magician is in the grave, Dark Magician Girl did gain a slight boost. So that's pretty much it. Now we get to attack and swing for game. So 16 plus 23 plus 25 equals perfect damage. Hey, you. I saw that. Yes, you! Go to the principal's office. Shame on you. She's a lolly. Alright, lesson 5, the final lesson. If your opponent cheats, use an alternate win condition. So let's go ahead and get things started. Alright, so we have to win this turn. And it does look like our opponent is cheating, because they have 9999 life points and a 5,500 dragon with no grave or anything. So obviously they're cheating. And they have 1 card in their back row, which is Dark Coffin. So if this card is destroyed, we have to face some kind of drawback. So, as you can see, we're using Dark Worlds because of these cards. So we have some Dark Worlds, not bad, but we are using Dark Necrofear. So that's a cool addition to Dark Worlds. So now, let's go ahead and get things started. The first thing you're going to want to do with this deck is obviously not summon Exodia the Forbidden One, but summon Trance Archfiend. And Trance Archfiend can activate his effect, which lets you discard a Dark World. We're going to be discarding Snow, because now that Snow is gone, we can go ahead and add this card from our deck. So we're going to go ahead and add this to hand. Shuffles the deck, which is irrelevant at this point, and we get to go ahead and use Dark World Lightning. Dark World Lightning gets us to destroy that Dark Coffin. It does have a bad effect when destroyed, but you don't have to worry about that. Now we can go ahead and get rid of Ceruli, because we have a play in mind. So now that Ceruli was sent to the grave, it summons itself to our opponent's side of the field. But before that, Dark Coffin will activate and let us pick the bad effect that we want to suffer. We don't want to use the discard 1 random card effect, even though it might eventually hit Brow and get us that draw 2. We don't want to do that. We're going to want to use this one. You want to destroy 1 monster on your side of the field, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of our irrelevant Trance Archfiend. So now that Trance Archfiend's out of the way, we get to summon Ceruli. Ceruli gets its effect, so we get to discard Brow. Brow has a second effect. If it's discarded by your opponent's card effect, you get 2 draws instead of 1. So now we have 2 Exodia pieces, which is pretty nice. Now, we do have that Dark Necrofear, which we can summon by banishing the 3 cards in our grave. And now, Dark Necrofear, doesn't matter what position it's in, I'll put it in attack just for the lulz and shenanigans. I will go ahead and activate the card that we had set, which was Advanced Draw. So Advanced Draw does give us the ability to tribute 1 level 8 or higher monster and draw 2 cards, which we only have 2 cards left in the deck, if you've noticed. So let's go ahead and use that and win the game. Alright. And that is the power of Exodia. You can take out any number of cheaters using his might. Now, that covers everything for today's tutoring session. All these answers will be on the test, so to all people I sent to the hall, pretty much failed. That's what they get for annoying me in class. So go ahead and save those gems for the new set that will probably drop in about 2 to 3 weeks. And if you enjoyed this tutoring special, leave a like and subscribe for more tutoring shenanigans. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today. Have a great day and get out of my class.